Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and this is Soft Flow Yoga. Thanks for joining me. In this class, we're going to focus on Pigeon Pose. Pigeon Pose is a wonderful hip opening posture. So let's get right into it. So let's begin in a seated position. Feel free to sit on something nice and soft. You can use a folded blanket or a towel, or even double up on your mats. I even have a yoga bolster here. Sit on a pillow perhaps. We like to begin here as we become fully present, connected, and aware. So take a few deep breaths. Nice full breath in. Exhale for the release. Very nice. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And just settle into your body. Settle into your breathing. Feel free to close your eyes, or you can just soften your eyes. Just soften your eyelids. Take a soft gaze forward or downward. As you take this moment, move inside of yourself. Notice how your body is responding to your breath, how your body reacts to the inhale and exhale. So you might even just say to yourself, I'm noticing the inhale. I'm exhaling. I'm inhaling. I'm exhaling. It just keeps you here in the moment. Good. Let's take 3 more breaths like this. Let's move into our moving meditation. On your next inhale, extend your arms out and up. Nice big stretch. Reach for the ceiling. Then exhale, extend your arms out and across the room as you bring them back down by your side. Inhale, reaching out and up. And exhale. Let's do a few more like this. Just moving with the breath. Allowing the breath to move you. Breath giving you energy, giving you power and strength. Feel the lengthening through the sides of your body, good extension through your arms, very active hands and fingers. Now go ahead and finish this breath and we'll take one more. And just return to stillness and notice that transition from a moving body to a body in stillness. From here, let's take a mild back bend. You can bring the hands behind you. You can just prop yourself up onto your fingertips. When you bring your arms back, it brings the shoulders back. It creates a nice opening in this little space here between your shoulder and your chest. Just going to push into the floor. As you push down, you want to feel your chest lift up. So you might even lift your chin slightly just to give your heart space a little bit more space. And then on your next inhale, fill up your lungs. And on the exhale, as you're able, draw your belly button in towards your spine. That's the abdominal lock. Again, inhale, push into the earth with your fingers. Feel that energy rise up the arms. Fill up your lungs. Exhale. Now we've created this mild seated back bend. When we get into Pigeon Pose, we'll actually do 2 versions of it. We'll do what's technically called Pigeon Pose Prep, and then we'll do a second version of it, which is just a fuller version of the posture, which actually is a back bend. 2 more breaths here. Good. And just go ahead and lower your chin, walk your hands towards yourself. Sitting up nice and tall, you can bring your hands to your lap, and then once again, just return to stillness. Since we just did a back bend, let's do a forward fold. Back bend, opening up through the heart space, a part of our Pigeon Pose practice. Let's change our leg posture here as we take a forward fold. We'll change this to bound angle pose, sometimes called cobbler's pose. which is a hip opener. And I suggested and mentioned that Pigeon Pose is a hip opener. So just place the soles of your feet together here. Knees will be bent. Now, if you're unable to bring the heels in too close to the body here, because it significantly bends the knees, just go ahead and slide the feet forward, taking some of that bend and possible tension away from the knees. Don't worry if the legs don't touch the ground. If you have a couple of blocks, bring those in, or even just some rolled up towels or some small pillows. You can rest them underneath the legs. Go ahead and hold on to your ankles or shins. Inhale, fill nice and tall, fill up the lungs. Exhale, draw belly button in. Start to hinge forward from the hips, but lead with your heart and chin. Just a little bit here. Inhale. And exhale, perhaps hinge forward a little bit more. Now I'm working with a straight spine initially, but you're also welcome to lower your chin and then round your back, which will give you a little bit more space to move into if you want to go a little bit deeper. In this case, you might be able to reach your toes. You can just kind of scoop up the toes here. So perhaps two significant sensations, a nice inner leg stretch, getting into the hips, and because of the curvature of the spine, a nice stretch through your back. A few more breaths here. So we did our back bend, hip opener with the forward fold. Another part of the body that is targeted when we do pigeon pose is our hip flexors. And that's kind of the top of the leg in front of the leg, just above the thigh. Let's take 2 more breaths. Now, if your back is rounded, just lift your chin, look out in front of you past the front edge of your mat. That will start that re-extension of your spine, and then just hinge your way up. You can even place your hands on the floor and now press and lift yourself back up until you're nice and tall here. Hold. All right, let's move our props out of the way. Let's come to our hands and knees. Do another little warm up for our backs. When you come to hands and knees, so feel free to use your towel or a blanket here just to create some softness for your knees and your wrists. Meet me here. Cat and cow. Starting with cow, which is an inhale. We tip the chin up or look forward. Heart feels like it's moving forward, arching the back. So this does create a back bend. The pelvis tips back. There's our back bend. That's cow with an inhale. Exhale, tuck the pelvis under. Feel your belly button pull up towards spine. Round your back, chin to chest. Cat. Inhale, reverse it, tip the pelvis back. There's our back bend. Heart opens, look forward. Exhale, round it out. Continue to breathe and move at your own pace as you move through these 2 postures. A wonderful way to open up the back, your spine, getting some good mobility through the entire back body. And this little rocking sensation in the hips helps to open the hips. Finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. Sometimes being on our hands and knees can create a lot of pressure on the wrists here, so we'd like to take a little break. So finish your breath, come to stillness in this tabletop posture. Tuck your toes behind you, start walking your hands toward your knees until you have all the weight off of your hands so you can lift the hands off the mat. So that was a forced flex position, and that can fatigue the wrists. So I just like to flip that the other way. I like to do a very gentle pulse into my blanket here, just to relieve that sensation, or just circle your wrists or wiggle your fingers, whatever you need to do whenever you find yourself in that particular posture. All right. Let's start moving into our pigeon pose prep. We're going to be using some props here too. I'm going to keep the blanket just to the side. I might be using the blocks. I'm going to keep those handy too. So we will start on hands and knees, and this is how we'll set it up. So first we're going to slide or step the right knee up towards the right wrist, right about there. Now we need to get this right foot on the other side of the mat, but my left knee is in the way. So I just tuck my toes back there, lift that knee like a little drawbridge, lifting up, and I swing that right knee, or right foot, over towards the left edge of the mat. And this is about 45 degrees, a little bit less in that angled leg. For full posture, this would be all the way up where the shin would be parallel to the edge of the mat, not going there. I want you to be mindful of your knee and ankle in this pose. Once you've got that angle, we'll set that left knee down back there. Still a lot of weight up front, so I use the left knee and toes and start to sit back, getting some of the weight off of the hands. Now don't worry if you don't sit all the way down onto the ground, because you don't have to. But you will start to feel sensation in the hips. Let's say you're kind of up high like this. This is where your block or a nice thick rolled up towel can come in handy. I like to tuck it underneath the right cheek right here. That way it keeps me supported and lifted. It keeps my hips aligned right here. Inhale just to extend the spine like I'm moving forward, and exhale, crawl forward. I might come down to the elbows. Now, since I'm kind of high up off the floor, I'm going to bring in my other block. I'll rest my forehead on the block. And that way I've created this nice, long, straight spine. Now, if you don't have a second block or another object, you can make fists with your hands and stack one fist on top of the other and rest your forehead on the stacked fists. So this is our Pigeon Pose prep. So we call it prep because it's kind of a lying down posture, but we are getting into the hips, just allowing those sensations to take place. So I mentioned the hip flexor as another body part that is affected by Pigeon Pose. And so in this case, the left leg, the extended left leg behind you, is experiencing that nice lengthening and stretch sensation. On the right side, kind of know what's going on over there. And for me, I feel this in my outer right hip, a little bit in the glute, and there's my Pigeon Pose prep. We're going to stay on this side, and I'll take you into the second version of this. 2 more breaths in our preparatory position. I'm going to lift my head off my block, come up onto my hands. I'm going to bring this block over here towards my left side. I'm going to take the one that I'm sitting on and also free it up over here. Now my hands are in front. I'm going to position them so they're kind of by my side, still propped up on my fingertips, but I'm going to use the blocks here. Because what I'm going to do is push down into the blocks, pushing down to help straighten the arms, but also lift my upper body so I'm looking forward. So if you're familiar and know upward facing dog, this is the sensation that we're creating. It's like upward facing dog, which is a back bend, but we just have one bent leg in front and the other leg extended behind us. So just to make good space in that low back area, that's why I'm pushing down into the blocks. And the blocks here just give me a little extra lift. So I'm much higher up, more space created in the low back, and I can create more of this back bend sensation. Now, you don't have to go this far. If you feel like you're kind of leaning forward a little bit more, that's fine. All right, 2 more breaths. This is the second version of our Pigeon Pose. Okay, I'm going to start to soften, start to come down and bring my hands down to the floor in front. Now, go ahead and sit way off to the right side. I'm going to bring the left leg around to the front here. I'm going to come back to cobbler's pose, bringing the soles of the feet together, just to even out the body a little bit. Sit up tall here for a moment. Few deep breaths. We'll do our pigeon pose on the other side. So if you're just needing just some hip opening, some hip release, even a minor back bend, just to get your day started, do pigeon pose. Alrighty, let's get set up for the other side. I'm just going to swing the legs back behind, come back to hands and knees, and we'll set it up the same way for the left side. So stepping or sliding the left knee up towards the left wrist, tuck my toes with the right foot, lift that knee, lifting the drawbridge, tapping the left foot so I can swing that foot over towards the right edge of the mat and reset the right knee onto the earth. Using the right knee and toes, shifting the body weight back away from the hands, but starting to settle into the deep breathing. Very active pose. It will take 3 more breaths. Then we'll go ahead and soften, start to come down. Move my blocks to the side. Let's do the same thing. Sit way off to your left side now. We'll swing the right leg around to the front. Return to your bound angle pose. I'll turn to face you and sit on my blanket right here. Just feel the re-extension of the spine after being in the back bend. Nice realignment for both legs. And when you're complete, you can either keep that cobbler's pose or just cross the legs here, and we'll finish our practice. Let's take the arms out and up. Inhale. And exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Take one more full and complete breath. And as we come to the close of this practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste. Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.